Hi, this is Tim, and this is another episode of Black Cannabis Culture. Today we're going to take a look at stocks. It's the most valuable option for not just the African American, but the average American to invest in companies and make money, have your money make money. It's something that's not taught to the middle and lower classes. But money is a tool, not just to acquire things, but to increase and multiply itself. Right in the back of an Uber once, and a guy was commenting how I was doing, and I was like, well, it's just a living. It's not even a living. It's just a hustle, really. And he was like, yeah, well, you'll never be rich off your own labor. And I was like, what do you mean you never be rich off your own labor? And he was like, to be rich or wealthy, you have to find some way for exponential growth. And meaning that you have to find, 1% of 1,000 people's work is better than 100% of your own. And, it's very simple, very true, very logical. And the stock market is a way for you to find that exponential growth. Other than insurance and commodities and futures, these are pretty much the only ways to find exponential growth. Or if you have a business yourself and you can, get the labor of 1,000 people, 1% of the labor of 1,000 people after you pay expenses and overhead and things of that nature. I was reading a book called what is it called? It's the Reginald Williams story. Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? It's a biography of Reginald Williams. He was a Harvard grad, and he has a library on Harvard University now. He was a Kappa, African American, from the Maryland area. But he was always focused on law, and then when he got into law, he began to focus on businesses and business profiles. And he said he used to just read business profiles. And he acquired, or he was the head of the largest acquisition or leverage buyout in the history of America or the world during that time, which was in the late 90s, which was the Beatrice buyout. But stocks, as average Americans, it's just become so much easier for the average person to buy stocks today. Black cannabis culture was started because of an African American woman saying that everybody else was making money off the cannabis culture except for African Americans, and we were the most targeted during the drug war. And it didn't make sense that we should be targeted during the drug war and then not make money off of the cannabis culture. So I looked into certain stocks like Medical Marijuana Inc. and General Cannabis Incorporated and Canagrow and different marijuana stocks as to try to invest in marijuana. Because I wasn't gonna move to Colorado and start a dispensary. I don't have the actual money to do that. But I do have $100 that I can invest in a stock for 90 days to see if it'll have any growth, if it can have any exponential growth over 90 days. And there's an infomercial going around talking about the election and how 20 states have marijuana bills on their legislature, on a referendum up for voting. So it'll be decided in 20 more states, and there are already 23 states, including the District of Columbia, that have medical marijuana or recreational marijuana laws, or laws decriminalizing marijuana. So, and just researching this, I remembered that I had taken courses or been studying 3 years ago Tim Sykes and penny stocks and things of that nature, small caps and penny stocks. And I said, wow, this would be the perfect time to invest in some stocks. Well, this would be the perfect time to learn how to day trade, because the market is semi-volatile. It's up, right? So trading is positive, but at the same time, I talked to a broker, a traditional broker, and he was like, now is not the good time to invest in the market. It's up. So the best time to invest in the market is when it's down, because you get most out of your returns when it goes back up. But we're doing something different. We're betting on the volatility of the market on a daily basis to acquire a 25 to 30% gain on our money on a regular basis. This is not the long-term strategies. Brokers say that 12%. Brokers usually try to guarantee or let you know that you'll make 12% on your money annually. So we're trying to make 30% on our money daily. And sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. I've been practicing for about off and on 3 years, but more regularly 3 months. So, I've been day trading, and I've been mostly, trading long as opposed to shorts and stuff like that, because I didn't have that arsenal in my repertoire. But now that I know how to short stocks, thanks to the teachings of YouTube and my own reading and research, then I know how to make money when stocks do bad also. But I mean, this is going to be the beginning of several webinars or several videos that I'm going to do about stocks. None too long, but all in detail to give you a more comfortable feeling about why we should invest in stocks, and why some of the wealthiest people in the world invest in stocks. Why, as middle and lower income people, we have to have something. We have to have more wealth, a more tangible wealth. And stocks are more tangible wealth. They last. They're more durable than a lot of than having money in the bank and things of that nature. They have a tendency to have a greater return than just having money in the bank or money or just savings, because that's what people do with their savings. They invest in their stocks, or people use the collective money in people's savings to invest long term in mutual funds and things of that nature. And that's how they get growth in their money for retirement. Anyway, we're gonna cut this video short. I'm going to show you an actual account. This is a Trade King account. You can get a TD Ameritrade, SureTrader, E-Trade, Scottrade, whatever type of account that you want to start trading stocks. The broker you choose is going to be instrumental because it gives you either freedom or restriction. Most of them have a little bit of both, some freedom and some restriction. There are positive and negative aspects of going with all types of all these brokers. And I'll go over that probably in my next video about which broker to choose. Alright, thanks a lot. This has been Tim with Black Cannabis Culture, tips on stocks.